Metro Council ignored warnings from condo residents 2 years ago, and now it's paying the price. Here's all the bells and whistles. Hello everyone, Bill Wilson, Editor-in-Chief of Railway Track and Structures Media, with a look at the top news stories we were following the week ending May 6th. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada released an investigation report on the 2019 derailment of a loaded Canadian National crude oil train, saying that the derailment was caused by a misaligned rail joint bar that eventually caused the rail joint to fail. The failed joint had been repaired about 6 weeks prior to the accident. During the repair, a compromised joint bar, an offset joint bar used for joining two rails of different sizes, which looks similar to a standard joint bar, was inadvertently installed with a standard joint bar. Since this accident, Canadian National now requires the outside surface of all compromised joint bars that are exposed when installed in track to be spray painted royal blue by the supplier. This allows for compromised joint bars to be more easily differentiated from standard joint bars. Montreal and Quebec are taking over the REM des Alpes light rail project, putting an end to a controversial design in downtown Montreal that was ridiculed by the public. The elevated line that was proposed will now be abandoned completely. As an alternative, the eastern section of the REM will only be developed on sections that already have been approved by the public. The REM will be linked to the metro. In March, prime contractor CDPQ Infra unveiled new designs for the project amid the public concern and claimed they addressed 80% of the concerns raised in a report authored by an expert advisory committee. Texas Governor Greg Abbott's crackdown on border crossing inspections has Mexico drawing a line in the sand. We'll make that a line in New Mexico. Mexico wants to build a rail line that would extend all the way to the Pacific Northwest and originally had plans to go through Texas. However, after Abbott's move on the border, Mexican officials met with the U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security and are now talking about building a rail line with the San Geronimo-Santa Teresa crossing in New Mexico. The rail plan is called the TMEC Corridor and would connect the Pacific port of Mazatlan to Winnipeg. The project will cost billions. Abbott lifted the inspections after reaching agreements with neighboring Mexican states that outline new commitments to border security. Those who live in a condo complex that shut down the Southwest Light Rail project for months are now saying they warned about potential problems before work began. Work stopped along the Kenilworth corridor in January when residents started complaining about cracking in their condo units. The condos are situated right next to the construction site. In 2018, the condo owners hired an engineering firm that concluded the structures of the buildings are substantially more susceptible to vibration impacts due to construction. During the pause, Metropolitan Council brought in its own consultant that said the changing weather conditions and the design of the condos was to blame for the damage.